Even gets better than that because I was doing some stuff on my Better Discourses Twitter account just before I went live today, and I made a discovery. You know, my Better Discourses Twitter account has really only been around for a couple days. It's just a little baby Twitter account. I've actually had the handle for a while, but I just barely started tweeting from it like 3 days ago or something like that. You know, it's got a couple hundred followers, doesn't really, have much relevance, but it is funny though, isn't it? Isn't it? Because I discovered that the new Discourses Twitter account has blocked the Better Discourses Twitter account. Isn't that funny? Now you might ask, why did they block you, Carlin? Were you harassing them? Were you stalking them? Were you being rude? Were you creating dissension among their followers? Well, let me show you exactly and precisely what they blocked me for. And you can see the post is unavailable now because they blocked me, but we can still go in and see it. So earlier today, the new Discourses Twitter account posted, "Communism's goal is transformative faith." So, the Gnosticism argument that James likes to make. And all I did was I replied to and I quote tweeted this, and I said, "Communism's goal is the abolition of private property. The definition of capitalism is private property ownership. Bourgeois property is defined as anything a person can use to create private wealth, your home, land, businesses, parental rights, generational wealth, etc." With this quote from Karl Marx from the Communist Manifesto that says, "In this sense, the theory of the communists may be summed up in a single sentence, the abolition of private property." That was all I did. I wasn't rude. I wasn't antagonistic. I wasn't mean. I didn't swear. I didn't badger anyone. I didn't harass anyone. Literally all I did was respond to new discourses stating facts very calmly with a quote from the Communist Manifesto, and I also quote tweeted them saying exactly the same thing. That's it. That is all that's required to get new discourses to block you, is to state the plain and simple truth that the goal of communists and socialists is to abolish private property. Private property is the definition of capitalism. Anytime you hear the left talking about capitalism, they are not talking about you going into the store and buying stuff. They are talking about private property ownership. Private property is defined as bourgeois property, which is anything that you can use in order to create privatized wealth for you. So they're not talking about things like your computer or your phone or your car, stuff like that. That's something else. They're talking about things like owning a home, owning land, owning a private business, owning intellectual property, owning apartments that you rent out as a landlord. Your parental rights over your kids are also considered to be a form of private property because it allows for the passing of generational wealth, so that wealth stays privatized within the nuclear family. That's one of the reasons they want to abolish the family. One of the reasons they're always attacking parental rights. There are other reasons too. We'll talk about that another day. Your individual liberties are also considered to be a form of private property. So like your freedom of speech, stuff like that. That's a little bit more esoteric, but it is on the list of things they do define as private property. When they are talking about capitalism, that is what they're talking about abolishing. Private property ownership. All of this is a plain and simple fact. I have videos for days backing this up of real communists, real socialists saying it, including Karl Marx in the Communist Manifesto. And so when James Lindsay and New Discourses are tweeting out things to try to make Marxism and communism seem like a Gnostic conspiracy theory, communism's goal is transformative faith. No, it's not. And we don't need to be rude when we say this. We don't need to be badgering them when we say this. We don't need to be aggressive when we say this. Just stating the plain and simple fact that the goal of the far left is to abolish private property ownership. Private property ownership being defined as your ability to own a home, land, private business, intellectual property, parental rights, individual liberties, apartment rentals, stuff like that. All we need to do is say it. And that is enough for New Discourses to block us out of being part of the conversation. Because they know. They know. They know that what James Lindsay is doing with New Discourses is a massive con to appeal to the conservative wine moms, to make them think they are in some spiritual battle of good versus evil, of them versus Gnosticism, of God versus Satan, when in fact it's a lot simpler than that, and that's why Better Discourses is better. That is why we are better. And so if you haven't followed the Better Discourses Twitter account yet, and you just want plain evidence, primary source evidence, facts, videos, recordings, so you can hear what the far left thinks, so you're not beholden to some interpretation that James Lindsay is putting out there for you based on cherry-picked evidence, please follow the Better Discourses Twitter account. It is BETTR, no second E, because that's just the number of characters I had in the Twitter handle, BETTR DISCOURSES. We are almost at 300 followers. I've only been tweeting about it for a couple days, so I think we're doing pretty good. So help us pass 300 followers. I would love to do that on this stream. That would be awesome. And you can get real information about the left that James Lindsay and New Discourses don't want you to know. Because never forget, guys, never forget that better is greater than new. Another way you can support the work I'm doing is by heading over to Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. And you can find even more information breaking down the far left over there. You can access the Woke 101 series if you're new to my work. You can also access this article right here that says, New to my work, start here. This gives you a list of things you can do if you've just discovered me, including taking the 4-hour crash course, How to Speak Socialist. This is a presentation that is completely free, available on demand, with dozens of clips from the far left that walk you through exactly and precisely what they think. So you don't have to take my word for it. This is not my opinion. I'm showing you video, I'm showing you primary source evidence, and I'm breaking down the language for you so you can see exactly and precisely what they think. You can also check out my re-education series, which has lots of great articles to give you kind of like an overview of what they think. And of course, if you're already here, you're already joining me for my daily live streams, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 6 p.m. for Socialism Saturday. And that's how you can get started with my work. If you appreciate what I do, please make sure you're supporting it by signing up for $8 a month, $80 a year. I am completely 100% funded by you. I cannot do this without you. So please make sure you're supporting the work I'm doing.